So let's talk a little bit about the bonding discussion. The governor introduced a request for a bonding bill in the range of $1.5 billion. I think we should tell our viewers this arises out of the fact that there was no bonding bill last year, which would have typically been a bonding year. So that is a factor, I think, in these conversations. And the question, I think, then becomes, will we see a larger bonding bill than we might typically see in an odd-numbered year? I have been at this table a number of years, and we have these conversations about how, well, we don't have a bonding bill in the odd-numbered year, and then we always seem to have a bonding bill, but it typically, of course, isn't nearly as large as it is in the bonding year. So I'm wondering if the fact we didn't have a bonding bill last year, does that change the calculus? Would we likely to see a bigger bonding bill? Let's start with you, Representative Dean.
Sure. I think when you skip lunch, people are hungrier at dinner time. So we missed last year. It didn't happen, so people are hungry. And they want to spend money on a bonding bill immediately. That's, of course, money that we borrow over 20 years to pay for stuff, to fix up buildings and to build new buildings. And I think we've got some priorities that we really do need to address, particularly in infrastructure and roads and bridges that Representative Hornstein likes because he's into transportation, and lots of other things. And it is a bill. Representative Erdahl is going to be chairing that in the House, and he has a lot of experience in that on the committee, and I think can hit the ground running. I think there is an expectation that there will be a larger off-year bonding bill this year. But nobody's made any commitments, I think, at this point. But there are some things, some maintenance issues that I think are deferred maintenance on buildings that are in kind of failure mode or crisis mode that really should be addressed, particularly with our institutions, and also some infrastructure needs that we really need to keep up with. And those can be deployed quicker, which I think is better for Minnesota. So I think we will likely see something. But again, this year with a budget and with lots of other moving pieces, I hope that it doesn't wind up being some last-minute political thing that gets constructed in the wee hours that nobody sees, that gets sweetened to get votes or to get horse traded. People are really tired of that kind of business, and I hope that if we do have a bonding bill this year, it's clean, it reflects our real needs as a state, and that people have a chance to weigh in on it, and members have a chance to read the bill ahead of time.
Representative Hornstein, I know you're interested.
Well, I certainly concur with the process issues that Representative Dean identified, and his party is in control and have control over the timing and then the public involvement in a bill like this. So I hope we will have transparency in the bonding bill. But look, we have crumbling infrastructure all across the state. It's not just simply roads and bridges. We have university buildings. We have all kinds of public facilities that need to be upgraded and built and improved. Investing in infrastructure helps our business climate. It helps us be competitive with other states and actually in the international arena. And so we need a robust bonding bill. People have these random kinds of numbers that they throw out, but it should be at least $1 billion or more. I think the governor's is at $1.5 billion. I think that's reasonable right now, especially because of the fact that we didn't have one last year. Interest rates are still very favorable. They could be rising. I think we did have an increase for the first time in many years just a few months ago. We might have another increase next year. So let's get these projects done while we can borrow at very good rates. And so every time we put this thing off, these projects don't go away. They just get more expensive. So let's get a robust bonding bill. Let's get that $1.5 billion figure or near that figure so that we can get these long stalled projects and put people to work. We can put 23,000 people to work under the governor's plan. And so, this is the time to do it. I think there's no reason why we can't get a bonding bill off the floors of the House and Senate very quickly and signed by the governor so we can get this thing going, get folks back to work and get these projects done because we really missed an opportunity last year.
It's hard following Representative Hornstein all the time, but it is gives me something. Bonding bills are not. Bonding bills aren't bad in and of themselves. They're good. They serve a purpose and they're good. So we're not opposed to bonding bills. And as Representative Dean said, there's been no commitments to what we're going to do with bonding. They turn into big political leverage issues, and I really dislike the bonding process as much as anybody. It's really unpleasant. But it's not a jobs bill. We should bond because we have critical infrastructure, and that's what it should be focused on. Too often our bonding bills are for community centers and proposals for the Walker Arts Center for their sculpture garden. We had to focus on priorities of roads and bridges. If that's our priority, it should be roads and bridges, infrastructure, that sort of stuff, and the stuff that we're responsible for, University of Minnesota. So there's good stuff in the bonding bill. The bonding bills aren't bad, but it's not a jobs bill. We cannot suggest that the bonding bill is a jobs bill. And they always come out with these ideas that it's 22,000 or 23,000 jobs. Well, we don't know that. Yeah, you bond something and people go to work. But a bonding bill should be the purpose of public good, regional and statewide, roads, bridges, our University of Minnesota, and that sort of stuff. So to that extent, I agree with Representative Hornstein. But it's not a jobs bill, and that's simply the wrong way to look at it. So no commitments. If I had to guess, there's probably going to be one at some point, because that's the way these things end up.